You, my friend, are overreacting to losing streaks for one simple reason. I'm uniquely qualified to tell you what this reason is because I've been trading Forex and crypto and stocks for the past decade, and I've made millions of dollars in all markets combined. And the reason you're overreacting to losing streaks is because you, my friend, you are not confident you're going to make all that money back plus more money hand over fist when you're on a winning streak. The fact that you get upset whenever you're on a losing streak is the same reason why you don't get upset when you're on a winning streak. People can win multiple trades in a row and they don't get unhappy. But the moment you lose a couple trades in a row and things don't go according to plan, you get upset. I myself right now happen to be on a winning streak. Last week I was on a losing streak. This week I post all these trades here for free on my free Telegram channel. I'll put a link in the description below so you can join. You can just follow all my trades and analysis for free. Right now, this is my current week, and I've made about $30,000 this week trading. And one thing that you see in common is that given a long enough time horizon, all of my wins, the conglomerate of them, outweigh the amount of losses. So when I have multiple wins in a row, I don't worry. But the unique thing about me is that I've learned when I get multiple losses in a row, it is not appropriate or justified or warranted or helpful at all to worry. You can see since I started this account about 6 months ago, I put a $350,000 deposit, and before swaps and commissions, which are quite a lot, I've made $347,000 in realized P&L, and I have no open trades at the moment. And something that I notice a lot of people continue to do is the moment they lose a trade and they lose a second and then a third and then a fourth trade in a row, all of a sudden their entire being collapses, their entire system of confidence and their entire trading approach. They question every single little thing. Okay, and I'm no exclusion to this. The first few years that I was trading, I had major imposter syndrome for the first 4 years. Even after getting profitable, 2 years into it, it took about 2.5 years before I was finally able to kick it. Here's the key to you remaining profitable and you not getting so bothered and so overreactive and so stupid about losing streaks. The key is to know that long term you're going to make more money than you lose. Now, since less than 5% of people statistically can do this in the first place, I'm going to show you exactly how I do it to manage it. And perhaps some of you, just a small portion of you, will be able to take what I'm saying to heart and go apply it into your own trading approach. The way I trade is incredibly simple. And it's so simple that I can teach you here in 30 seconds. Whenever you're trading, price just goes up or down. Price bounces at previous highs and it bounces at previous lows and it just goes back and forth. All I do is I use support resistance zones. I use the daily, the 4-hour, the 1-hour time frame, and I put everything together to find trading opportunities. All you do is when price comes to a resistance zone, you sell. You put a stop loss above the zone and a target below. When price comes to a support zone, you buy. You put a stop below and a target above, and just use 1-to-1 risk-reward ratios. Now here's why this works. It is because whenever price starts going against you, you can close losing trades early, but when price starts going into profit, you can hold winning trades longer. It doesn't work as well if you use a 1-to-2 risk-reward ratio, or a 1-to-3, or a 1-to-5, or a 1-to-10. And the reason being is because that makes it more likely your stop loss is going to be hit, and thus you will have more losing trades in a row, and then it will be more difficult and more pain in the ass for you psychologically to execute your trading approach, knowing that you're going to be losing more than half your trades if you just let the stats play out. It's very difficult for someone to keep doing that long term. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I'm saying if you're watching this video and you're not yet profitable, it is simpler and easier and a million times more effective for you to just use 1-to-1 risk-reward ratios. Get out of losing trades a little bit early if you can. If it starts going sideways, close it at break even. If it starts breaking the zone that you traded off of, close it before the stop loss. A third of the way, a half of the way to the stop loss, whatever. And when you have a winning trade, get used to holding that winning trade. When you look at my stats and my P&L, you'll notice something very simple. And we can do this regardless of what set of data you take. I post all my stats here in the Telegram. All these trades I've shared here in the Telegram channel before, like just the analysis, the recaps, the outlooks, everything in that. One thing you'll notice is whenever I'm wrong, I get the stop loss hit every now and then, yes. But a lot of the times when I'm wrong, I can close a trade before it actually gets to that invalidation point, so that way I lose less. So for example, you can see GBP AUD, that hit the stop loss for $10,000 of risk. And then I also had a profit target hit for $10,000 of risk. I'm risking 10K per trade on these trades. But you'll also see here I have strings where it's Euro GBP, I closed at break even. GBP JPY, I closed at break even. And these trades would have gone to the stop loss. Euro USD, I closed before the stop loss. This one has a $10,000 risk, and I closed it before it got there. So a little more than half the way there, right? 6K was the loss, and it was a 10K risk. But whenever I do have winners, I make more on the winners and I lose on my losers. And the stats, again, you can scroll back to this Telegram channel for months. Again, the link's in the description. I'll put it in the pinned comment too. You can scroll back in here and you can see that no matter what happens, the win streaks and the losing streaks, I have really good win streaks, I have really bad losing streaks, I still make more than I lose long term. Even after everything, even after the fees, the swaps, the commissions, the spreads, the gaps, everything, I still come out on top because I ensure that when I'm right, I make more money versus what I lose when I'm wrong. Imagine if you knew that this was the case. Imagine if you knew for a fact that you could start an account and you're going to win half the time and you're going to lose half the time. But on the half the time you lose a little bit less money as compared to relative. Whenever you win, you make a little bit more money half the time. Regardless of what the swaps and fees and commissions and spreads and gaps and everything else is, you are going to make more profit than the amount of losses that you will assume on losing streaks. The problem is people get really, really upset whenever they're on losing streaks. All it's going to take is it's going to take you time, it's going to take you dedication, focus, and it's also going to take the acknowledgement and understanding that yes, you're going to win multiple trades in a row and that feels great, but you're also going to lose multiple trades in a row and that's okay. Whenever you keep trading and you do it this way where you know you're going to win a little bit more than you lose long term, that is where you have your edge. You have your edge whenever you get into a trade, and then whenever it's a winner, you hold it, and then whenever it's a loss, you try to get out of it a little bit early. You'll have trades like this where you sell at the resistance zone, then price starts to break above the zone, and then you just get out, right? You just close it because you sold, it's not bouncing immediately, it's going sideways, it's going against you. It is always okay to close a trade in a loss, to keep the loss small if it looks like it's not going to work out. And so I'm going to clear this for you. I'm going to show you the trades I took last night. I'll show you two of them here. I've got GBP CAD, in which I sold at a resistance zone. So price was here at resistance, and then last night when price got here into resistance, I literally just sold at the resistance here, and then I put the stop loss above the zone and target below the zone. And here's the actual trade I took. I call all my specific trades in my Discord server, and this is right here. So I'm short on GBP CAD. This is what I do. I post literally the trade terminal here on my chart, and then I also post the P&L terminal so you can see what the open trade is, margin, free margin, equity, balance, everything like that. So these are the trades whenever I call them out. And then you'll notice that whenever they do play out, I post the recaps as well. So this right here, it went a little bit against me, but then it came down, hit the profit target. And guess what? If this would have hit the stop loss, that's okay. In this case, it happened to hit the profit target. Here's another one I did yesterday. GBP NZD on the 4-hour chart. I sold right here at the resistance zone. It was a previous high. Price came into this zone, had a nice bounce, came into the zone again. Guess what? I sold there at the zone. I put a stop loss above and a target below. I risked 10,000 to make 10,000. And what ended up happening? Well, as you can see right here in the P&L terminal, GBP NZD hit the profit target too. What about Euro USD? I bought Euro USD, and that resulted in a loss. Let me show you exactly how I managed that whenever it was losing. So I called it yesterday at about 7 a.m., and I put a buy on Euro USD. It looked like it was at a support zone. You can see where price was bouncing multiple times here. I put a stop loss below the zone, target above for 1-to-1. And you can see this was my P&L terminal yesterday. So there's that Euro USD trade. Then what happened is I'm closing Euro USD here. This was at 9 a.m., right? So about 2 hours after I enter it. I put she's struggling to go up. What happened? Well, whenever price started breaking the zone and it got past these little recent lows here, I just elected to close the trade before the stop loss. Now, you're not always going to be able to do this, right? Sometimes it's going to go to the stop loss. It's cool. That's what the stop loss is there for. It's there for the sake of emergencies. If you don't have time to get out of the trade, or you're asleep, or you're at work, or you're dealing with your kids or something, and you just don't have time to check the charts. So it's okay to get the stop loss hit, but what you want to try to do is you want to try to get into the habit of getting out of trades that look like they're not going into profit easily, and then holding trades that are going into profit all the way to the dedicated profit target. So this was this right here for Euro USD. Close that in a smaller loss. And when you go down the P&L list, you go over and over, you see the same sort of pattern. Whenever I lose a trade, for example, I close GJ and EG at around break even, those ones would not have worked out. When we go back further, you can see GBP AUD. I lost right there for $10,000. USD CAD, I closed that there at $5,000 of loss. So I lost 5K instead of 10K on that. And I do the same thing over and over and over again. And this is why whenever I have losing streaks, it's completely irrelevant to me. Whether or not I win the next trade or lose the next trade doesn't matter. You can see my camera's frozen here. Wow, okay, cool. So let me just try to, that's a bad place to freeze on me. Let me see if it'll pop back up. But long story short, whenever I'm right, I make a little bit more money than what I lose when I'm wrong. And it is because of that that I'm able to be profitable. And it's also because of that that I don't get worried whenever I have losing streaks. They are far too bothersome to far too many people, and I think it's because people don't have the right system in place. The system I use is so dirt simple that you can learn it in basically 30 minutes. You can learn every single thing about the way that I trade just by following my trades and scrolling through my trades in the free Telegram channel and just watching what I do. It is not rocket science, and it's not complicated. As a matter of fact, it is just one step more complicated than blindfolding yourself and entering random buys and sells on any time frame. That is literally all I do. I'm not blindfolded, obviously. Look at the chart. I draw clear support resistance zones, I set alerts, and then I just sit back and wait. When price gets to one of the zones, if it's at resistance, I sell. If it's at support, I buy. I put a stop below the zone and a target above at 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio if it's at support, and I do vice versa if it's at resistance. I sell at the resistance zone, I put a stop above, I put a target below at 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. It is incredibly simple, and if you do that, and you get into the habit of closing losses a little bit earlier and holding wins a little bit longer, what that means is it puts you in a position where you're making more than you lose on average. And when you take the conglomerate of all your wins and losses and you basket them out and factor everything, including the swaps and commissions and all the other fees, you're going to come out on top if you're winning half the trades and losing half the trades. But when you win, you make a little bit more than you lose. If that happened, you won't be overreacting to losing streaks, and you won't be losing your mind every single time you get a trade that goes against you. It's very important that you understand this, because if you don't understand this, you're going to continue to lose money. You're going to continue to be overreactive. You're going to continue to be so down on yourself and so hard on yourself whenever you go on a losing streak. And that, my friend, that is no way to live, and that is no way to trade. Take it from me. I've been through this before. At the beginning of my trading career, I went through all of this, and it sucks. I absolutely hated it. I hated the feeling of being right a couple times in a row and knowing that, okay, I'm on a win streak, but when's the next losing streak going to come along? I feared losing streaks. Now, I do not care whether I lose the next 1 trade, 3 trades, 5 trades, or more in a row, because I know long term I'm going to make more than I lose because I have this simple trading approach that works. I make money hand over fist doing this in Forex and crypto and stocks. And the reason it works is because it's just so simple, and it ensures that I'll make more money than I lose long term. I encourage you to try it. Go into my Telegram channel and see for yourself. Link in the description and the pinned comment. See ya.